Hello everyone, welcome home, and I'm Jerrel. Good to see you again. Today I wanted to compare two Mandocellos. Here we have a Suzuki MC 825. I believe this one in particular is from the 80s, 70s, or 80s. I'd have to double check the paperwork again on that, but this is just a fantastic instrument. I purchased it off a fellow who was selling it on a listing online, but we really connected when I went to pick up the instrument, and we've become friends. So I'm so grateful to him that I was able to find this Mandocello and purchase it from him, and now I have a new friend as well. So this is a Reading 3/4 guitar, and I just adore this tobacco sunburst. Look, I'm kind of a sucker for the tobacco sunburst. If an instrument has it, it's kind of like, you know, plus 10 points for me if it's got that really fantastic sunburst. So this started out as a 3/4 guitar, and I converted it into a Mandocello. Let me just compare the lengths of the two instruments here. So you can see where the saddles start. They're very close, extremely similar. So according to my research, I did not have a Mandocello at the time when I built this, and I needed a Mandocello for work because I was composing some music that incorporated Mandocello. I did not have a Mandocello. I wasn't able to find a Mandocello, and so I did research into the instrument, and I found the closest body and the scale length that I could get to what would work out, and I used this 23 1/4 is the scale length for this Reading guitar. I added the extra tuning machines there. As you can see, I bought 2 sets because I wanted 8, so I bought 2 sets of 6, and I have 4 left over, which I used in another build. And you can see the only feasible way to really fit these and to get them to look to make sense, and also because of the angle at which the strings need to be at, you don't want to have them hook off to the side, and it would just be they would not fit if I were to put them on the side. So putting them up top allows them to fit. If you do this build yourself, feel free to ask questions in the comments and I'll answer the best I can, but you will need some tools so you can carve slots for the nut and for the saddle here. Now I've put a pickup on here so I can play this. I used to take this around and I played it in a couple places before I ended up getting the Mandocello. This has an internal piezo pickup, which is quite nice and a much more elegant solution. So I may even just remove this and put it on a different instrument. I normally have a neck shoulder strap, but I don't really play this instrument so much anymore unless I'm around a campfire setting, in which case I will use this one. I'm not going to take this gorgeous, quite rare instrument. I'm not going to have that around a bonfire where people may be enjoying some libations and stumbling around into rare instruments that may end up in pieces. So when it comes to that situation, I will use this Reading 3/4. Oh, I've gone and dropped the pick. That's okay. So you can hear the difference in the sound. In this particular one, I've cut a sound port in here. It's hilarious that my one of my most viewed videos is a short where I drill a hole into a bass guitar, and people generally say that I've ruined it. But in 1 minute, you don't really get a chance to explain what a sound port is. That allows the player to hear more of the instrument, to get the sound that listeners who are in front of the player will get the full sound of the instrument, but the player does not necessarily get the sound. With a sound port, you get to hear more of the sound there. And in this case, it's quite an elegant solution. It's not that fancy. I didn't really care, in terms of making it super fancy. This is just an instrument I was using in the studio. Okay, so that's the sound. You can hear that it's interesting, and you can tell it's not a guitar. It's not an octave mandolin. You can hear the difference, but when you compare it to a true purpose-built real Mandocello, you can hear that the Mandocello has a much stronger, clear attack, and it has more complexity in its voice. And that is largely because the angle at which we approach the bridge or the saddle is quite shallow, so there isn't a great deal of downward pressure on there. But I did not want to put the strings on the bridge, as this instrument was not built for that tension, and it would compromise the integrity of the instrument. But also you get a weaker attack when you have your strings that attach to the bridge, and they apply a leverage force. You generally get more complexity in the warm, middle, and low tones, but you get very weak attack in comparison to having the downward force. So I chose to use a mandolin tailpiece on that. Okay, and again, one more sound sample of the Suzuki Mandocello. So there is more dynamic range, there's more tonal complexity, there's a brighter, stronger attack that's vibrant, and it feels so lively. This is such a warm instrument that you can only get from instruments of age that are a few decades old, and it has time to grow and settle, and for the instrument to really find its voice. As the various glues and the varnishes dry, the instrument develops. The surfaces of the instrument, the resonating surfaces, are able to vibrate more freely as they dry out further over time. And that also has something to do with it, because this Reading 3/4 is a brand new instrument as well, but it just wasn't built for this. But as you can see, you can get a sound out of it, and it is technically a Mandocello, and if you aren't able to find a proper Mandocello, you can always convert a Reading 3/4. So I hope this has been interesting to you. Thank you very much for watching, and to everyone who has subscribed, thank you very much. But I just want to let you know, I am not a YouTuber. I never will be a YouTuber. I'm not interested in YouTube's algorithm. I've only recently just started posting one video a day because I enjoy hearing from people all around the world who are enjoying these instruments. I have a collection of custom instruments that I build and customize and modify. I restore and repair antique instruments that I can find from all around the world, and I use them in my work. So being able to share that with people I think it's just so lovely. So thank you for watching, and I appreciate you. And I guess I'll see you tomorrow, because I'm uploading daily. So I'll see you around. Take care of yourselves and come home again soon, huh?